roll out the red carpet, or should we say sleeping bags? Because we have your Backstage Pass to Hollywood. Backstage Pass starts now.
In 5,
4.
3, 2,
Are you ready?
Hey explorers, welcome back to Backstage Pass, where we give you the scoop on all things entertainment. My name is Kayla McCrae.
And my name is Lucas Alvin, your second host of Backstage Pass. But you already knew that, I hope.
Hey, don't forget about me, Patrick O'Hara, your third host of Backstage Pass. Guys, should we tell them where we are today?
Maybe, or should we keep it a secret? Everyone loves a good dramatic build-up. It will add to the suspense, and we love suspense here on Backstage Pass.
Oops, the secret is out. As you might be able to tell, today we're filming Backstage Pass on our campsite, Camp Evergreen. We'll be talking all things camp. And forgive me this episode, I'm a little tired because Patrick and Kayla hogged both of the tents and left me to sleep outside on the cold, hard ground. With an ear infection, mind you. But wait, what is camp again?
Shh, you're not supposed to tell them that, Lucas. Ugh. But since you asked, I define camp as something that's glitzy and glamorous, sparkly and colorful and all that jazz, with just a hint of dark humor.
No, that's not quite right. It's actually a style that embraces the ironic, the flamboyant, and the kitschy and/or bad taste. And it means something that's bad, that's so bad that it's actually good, whether that be music, movies, fashion, you name it. It can also be an empowering mode of self-expression.
You're both wrong. Camp is literally the little campsite we're sitting at right now. Come on, guys. I thought you knew this.
You know what? Let's settle this. Everyone state their favorite campy movies or TV shows, and let's decide which are the most campy. Kayla, you start.
All right, if you say so, Pat. In my opinion, campy movies are stupid and kitschy on purpose, and they're an art form that goes underappreciated, especially since it's often a tool for a deeper message to be conveyed. A lot of my favorite movies are like this, whether intentional or not. In fact, my fourth favorite movie on my letterbox is a camp classic for me. I'm talking about A24's Bodies, 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 starring Amandla Stenberg, Rachel Sennett, Maria Bakalova, Chase Twee Wonders, Mai Hala, Lee Pace, and Pete Davidson. Released in summer of 2022, this follows a group of rich 20-somethings having a hurricane party at a friend's mansion when a game called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies ensues, and one of the friends turns up as, well, an actual dead body. It's up to them to figure out who the killer is, as more of them drop dead one by one. The movie's camp aspects come into play as the dialogue. It's a satire and commentary of the superficiality and virtue signaling that is often found in certain Gen Z friend groups. The highly unserious dialogue delivered with such seriousness is what makes it funny. Sometimes, some people just find it cringy though. But hey, at least it feels accurate to what an actual 20-year-old today sounds like. You gotta give it points for that. Seeing the group break down into paranoia and distrust over which one of them was the killer was equal parts hysterical and tragic. But with that, you've got a pretty absurd and biting satire, My Kind of Party. Plus bonus points for the Charlie XCX song. Some other films along this line that I love include the following, and bear with me, I'm going down a list. Josie and the Pussycats, Cecil B. Demented, Sorry to Bother You, Dick, Death Becomes Her, Down with Love, But I'm a Cheerleader, Party Girl, Zoolander, The Long Kiss Goodnight, Earth Girls Are Easy, The Brady Bunch movie. I could go on for a long time, so I'm just gonna stop myself there.
I could go on and on about this next title that is my definition of camp. I mean, what would happen if you took Mean Girls and Scream and merged them into the same universe? Well, this Fox TV series did just that. Starring Emma Roberts, Glenn Powell, Jamie Lee Curtis, Niecy Nash, Leah Michele, and Keke Palmer, Scream Queens follows the students of Wallace University as they're rocked by a series of murders linked to the most prestigious sorority on campus, Kappa Kappa Tau. The girls within the sorority soon realize they're being picked off one by a serial killer known as the Red Devil. The show features hilarious, over-the-top, and dramatic dialogue that's guaranteed to make you burst out laughing, alongside the humorous and super unrealistic deaths that are just, well, so stupid. The show absolutely exceeds itself in the ability to never, ever take itself seriously. But don't let that fool you, though, because the cast is iconic. There were even special appearances from Ariana Grande and Nick Jonas. Plus, the series got even more unserious in its second season, where Mean Girls and Scream met Grey's Anatomy in a blood-curdling sequel. Okay, fun fact. The second season was originally planned to take place at a summer camp, Friday the 13th style, according to the co-creator Ian Brennan. Unfortunately, though, Fox, quote, tasked the team to set the season in a hospital instead. I'm curious what that would have looked like. Maybe something like our set, perhaps?
You two have camp all wrong. I may have an ear infection, but I still clearly heard Patrick talk about Friday the 13th, arguably the most popular movie with a camp in it. You know, Camp Crystal Lake, where Jason Voorhees tragically drowned to death in 1957 because of a counselor's negligence, and then he returns 2 years later to take vengeance, but then he actually takes vengeance. Oh, but then he does it again. But, oh, wait, he then does it one final time. Until Jason keeps going at it. I mean, bro even ends up at space at one point. Like, seriously, Jason, is it really worth it at this? Regardless, this series is just filled with camp, as long as you ignore the space part. But hey, if you're a fan of slasher movies, surely you'll have a field day with these films.
Lucas? Never mind. That's enough of us talking about campy movies. Let's hand the mic over to Maddie Green of So Boom, where she talks about the campy horror classic that is the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I definitely would have mentioned on my list if I had the time. Take it away, Maddie.
Hey everybody, my name is Maddie Green and welcome back to So Boom, where I retell movies the only way I know how. Chaotic, dramatic, and a little too honest. Now today we're talking about a movie that confused parents, thrilled theater kids, and turned midnight showings into a lifestyle. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. So Boom, let's set the scene. It's a dark and stormy night. Two very normal, very square people, Brad and Janet, are driving home after getting engaged. They're in love, they're polite. They're not ready. Suddenly, the car breaks down. They stumble upon this big, creepy mansion in the middle of nowhere. Red flag number one. They knock and the door opens to a full-blown party with music, costumes, and people who clearly do not believe in social norms. Red flag number two. But nevertheless, they go in. Enter Dr. Frankenfurter, a mad scientist, confidence personified in absolute chaos and heels. He's loud, he's dramatic, he's running the most unhinged house party known to man. Frank reveals his big science experiment. Rocky, a muscle man he created to be perfect. Brad and Janet are horrified. Everyone else? Vibing. Yet another red flag. Yikes. As the night goes on, everything Brad and Janet thought they knew about themselves starts to unravel. Their rules? Questioned. Their comfort zone? Obliterated. Their relationship? Stressed. Just when you think it can't get any weirder, surprised. Surprise! Frank and his crew are actually aliens from a planet where self-expression is the norm and conformity is basically illegal. Eventually, the party comes crashing down. Loyalty shifts, dreams fall apart, and Frank's world literally starts to collapse. By the end, Brad and Janet leave the castle changed, shaken, confused, but a lot more aware of who they are and who they aren't. Moral of the story, stop taking life so seriously. Try something new, question the rules, and if you ever find yourself in a strange castle at midnight, embrace the weird, dancing out, and don't dream it, be it. And that's the tea on the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This was So Boom. Follow List Outlet Lounge on Instagram to stay up to date with all the shenanigans we take part in. I'm Maddie, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Maddie. You know, I think Rocky Horror is a little closer to the actual definition of camp, or at least how I think of camp.
Well, when I think of camp, I think about singer-songwriter rapper Doja Cat, best known for her dark humor and totally unserious aesthetic. She has one song in particular that just takes the cake for camp, Moo off her debut studio album Amala features a fun chorus that literally goes, quote, redacted, I'm a cow, redacted, I'm a cow, I'm not a cat, I don't say meow. I go moo, I go moo. What adds to this is the fact that the song's music video is just Doja in a cow onesie in front of a poorly edited green screen with images and videos of cows and farms behind her. Honestly, iconic. She really went all out for the cows, and that was arguably what gave her her push to stardom before Say So came into the picture in 2020.
I so agree with this, Pat. Doja Cat is definitely camp. One of my favorite camp-embracing artists that I've loved since middle school is pop-funk singer Remy Wolf. You may know her from her popular songs, Photo ID, Cinderella, and Disco Man. She embraces the colorful, the wacky, the weird, and unhinged, and horny in her lyrics, music, videos, and production, all while having some killer vocals. Some may see her use of extravagant mismatched colors and patterns as gaudy and of bad taste, but hey, I think it's iconic. Her music and aesthetic is still so unique and unlike a lot of artists that I've come to love over the years. I even got a chance to see her live, and she still embraces that wild energy on stage like she does in her songs. She has some of the best vocals you've ever heard in a modern artist, if you ask me. My favorite Remy Wolf albums are Juno and Big Ideas. My favorite songs of hers are Kangaroo, Michael, Grumpy Old Man, Anthony Kiedis, Sexy Villain, and Liz. No question.
Okay, so camp actually means being bizarre. That sounds like Lucas core, and if we're talking about music, then Lucas should probably just go on a random rant about his love of 90s and 2000s Europop. You probably aren't too familiar with the genre, but you'll likely know it if you heard it. It's a distinct sound consisting of high-energy dance music, catchy melodies, and often repetitive choruses. Some of my personal favorite tracks are Every Time We Touch by Cascadia, Around the World by Touch of Class, Barbie Girl by Aqua, Butterfly by Smile DK, Deja Vu by Dave Rogers, and last but most certainly not least, Tarzan and Jane by Toybox. If you're feeling stupid like me and just want to dance around like a fool, then I highly encourage you to check out these songs. Maybe you could even listen to them while you're going camping. Never mind, that's a terrible idea.
Yes it is. And I still feel like we haven't settled on a solid definition of camp, but hopefully our friends Genesis Clark and Dan Peasy have. Check out this flashy joint installment of Front Row Only and In the Zone. Take it away, Dan and Genesis.
Hey guys, welcome to Backstage Pass's first collab segment. I'm Genesis Clark from Front Row Only.
And I'm Dan Peasy from In the Zone. It's nice to intrude in each other's personal space and have a little collaboration.
That's true. Usually you're talking about updates in the gaming world, but it's cool to bring our two worlds together for a little bit.
Totally agree. Have you ever been to summer camp?
Yeah, I actually work at one.
Well, as much as someone loves summer over here, that is not the type of camp we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to discuss some of our campiest video games and tours, a little bit of mix in our styles.
Oh, you mean like the different, out-of-the-box, so bad it's good kind of camp? I have plenty of shows to pick from. Shall we start?
Occasionally, I can't help but love bad games, even if they are a bit tacky and, well, bad. But there's a game that has been etched into my mind forever that is the very definition of it's so bad, it's good. I would like to introduce you all to Deadly Premonition, an open-world horror game released in 2010. The game is about an FBI agent, York Morgan, being sent to a small town to investigate ritualistic murders within. Now, it sounds simple, but what makes it so bad? Well, even for its time, the game is beyond outdated. Controls are annoying, driving feels stiff, and the combat is overall easy with no real challenge behind it. Even the dialogue within the game feels so awkward, but that's weirdly what makes it memorable. What makes the game good is the characters and the story themselves. It's almost like you're playing a completely different game with how good it's all written. I can't even be mad that this game has such a unique and amazing story. I'm definitely not one to spoil a great experience, so if you could sacrifice a day, I totally recommend it.
Moving on to the pit. The first tour that comes to mind when I think of something mean camp is Dochi's Live from the Swamp tour. From outfits with a campy plaid theme to the whole gritty swamp aesthetic, Dochi is such a vibe curator. Her vision was the camp aesthetic, and she wanted to serve up a fun and unserious experience for her fans of her hits and deep cuts alike. Everything about this tour was just a ball of high energy, and you'll never be taking it seriously. At times, the looks were a little bit tacky, I will say. The outfits did clash at times and did not go together. But I feel like this is a part of the show. It's new, fun, and camp.
If it doesn't look like it, I'm always usually exhausted. So a nice relaxing game that I can spend maybe 20 minutes on is perfect for the occasion. But then that 20 minutes turns into a few hours. Love that for me. I really have to confess that Animal Crossing franchise has stolen too many hours from my life. I love these types of games that give us such a peaceful atmosphere with no harsh penalties or strict requirements. I remember playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my 3DS late at night, putting the use of my free will to great use, wasting a day trying to catch a specific bug. It wasn't a surprise when in quarantine, everyone turned Animal Crossing to hold gatherings and even weddings. There was even a player who had over 3,500 hours on New Leaf, and they were 87 years old. It's so amazing how inclusive and free a game series can be. So don't feel ashamed about your play hours. They will never be the highest.
As much as I love seeing artists at the arenas and big stadiums, I love a cozy and small, intimate shows of my favorite artist. Smaller venues do just bring better vibes and better moments. My favorite alternative band, Tally Hall, did a very small and cozy show in a basement. The group got together and performed songs from their first album, Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, titled Party 06. The band gathered a small group together just to showcase their improv and performance skills. The show was intimate, high energy, and overall just a social and fun show.
Like I mentioned, I'm a sucker for amazing stories within games. I'm sure everyone has heard about The Last of Us, either from the TV show version or the 20th remake announcements for the games themselves. I feel like The Last of Us is one of those only few games to capture such amazing dialogue, acting, and atmosphere that makes it look so theatrical. For those who aren't familiar, The Last of Us is about a deadly fungal infection hitting society, turning it apocalyptic. Joel, a man who becomes a smuggler decades later in the virus, is tasked to smuggle a girl out of a heavily protected city in a dangerous outside. It's a great story of survival, love, with grief and attachment. I sadly haven't played the full story yet myself, but I'd recommend, if you're into this type of genre, to finally look at it.
I love a big production. I'm a firm believer in the ticket price going straight to the production value. Alt-pop artist Melanie Martinez performed the K-12 tour all across the Americas and Europe. Her shows featured dancers, pyrotechnics, and big life-size props such as a puppet box, and even had an effect to make it feel like she was hovering over the stage. Everything was theatrical and almost even magical. You were transported into the pastel, pink, horror-filled world of K-12. This tour was very out of the box and, to me, very, very camp. And that's our bit. I don't know, Dan. I think camp could be cool. You can make anything campy just by thinking out of the box and being different. I think it's time to take it back to the studio. I'm Genesis Clark.
And I'm Dan Peasy. Let us know what you consider to be campy. It's been a pleasure, and like you said, back to the studio.
All right. I think I'm starting to get a better idea of the whole camp thing now. What do you think, Kayla?
I think so too. But I kind of think I had the right definition this whole time. You know, kitschy, over the top, extra and bizarre. What better thing fits this definition than the art of drag performance? Drag in this context means the exaggerated performance of gender expression using crazy makeup, outfits, or other tools. Drag can be just for fun, or it can be political, serving as a critique against oppressive gender norms and inequalities. Sounds like a lot of my favorite campy movies, huh? Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a drag expert. I've never watched a full season of RuPaul's Drag Race, even though I totally should. And I'm not very keen on the drag scene here in Philly. But I realized that I'm more of a fan of the art form than I might realize. One of my favorite movies, called To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, is about 3 drag queens going on a road trip. I've been to a drag brunch show and an amateur drag night that some of my friends were in. I'm a fan of Chapel Roan, who is basically a drag queen and whose crazy outfits always give me life. I've even been to a Chapel Roan concert where her opening acts were local drag queens. But drag doesn't have to be big and flashy all the time. It could be something like Robin Williams in the Miss Doubtfire movie. Although in this case, it's more so done for laughs than social critique and genuine expression. Still, a good exaggerated performance of gender though. In conclusion, something about drag just speaks to me. I suppose it's because I'm naturally drawn to camp. Or maybe the camp is drawn to me.
Now, we've all heard of The Sims, right? Well, I've got one better. Nintendo's Tomodachi Life. This game is entirely unserious with its weird and bizarre events that occur for almost no reason, all on an island of your own with characters of your choice. This game was a big part of my childhood, and I oftentimes find myself lying awake at night thinking about some of the crazy dreams that Tomodachi Miis would have and share with me. like the ones of the Mies gathered around a plate of food worshiping it, almost like a cult. The Mies' ability to break out into song or sing the most random things possible is exactly what makes this game so fun and so camp, because it literally could be anything you wanted it to be. While The Sims is known for its ability to do the same, Tomodachi Life is a little more chaotic and kind of unexpected, needless to say. I personally find it to be one of the Nintendo's best games out there.
While on the topic on video games, I should mention the Tekken series, which is odd because in terms of fighting games, it's actually less camp compared to many. But that's still not to say that it isn't. I mean, come on. On one hand, you've got a generational martial arts feud over power, devils, and throwing your family off of cliffs. And then you got bears and all sorts of other nonsense. It's so over the top, but in the most well-rounded way. I have such fond memories of playing the older games when I was younger. They're just so much fun. And speaking of fun, I'm not having any. I think I still have an ear infection, and now it's affecting my sinuses. But yesterday, we set off to our second campsite to ask our fellow explorers what they think camp means. So let's put on our backpacks and see what they had in this edition of Backstage Asks.
Hey explorers, welcome back to Backstage Asks. I'm Kayla McCrae.
I'm Patrick O'Hara.
Lucas Alvin with a sinus infection.
So you see, we have our backpacks on, right? We're at Camp Backstage Asks, and we're about to set our bags down and set up our second campsite. But I have a question. What is camp? We should ask people about that.
We should. Wait, are those other campers? Let's go ask them.
Yeah, let's go. Hi, what's your name?
Faith.
My name is Jada.
It's Gabby.
Savage?
Yes.
Are you feeling savage?
Every day's a lifestyle.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Mary.
Assad.
I'm Will. How are you?
My name is Devontre.
I'm Cooper McSkippy.
Hi, my name's Maddie.
Noelle. When you hear the word camp, what do you think of? What comes to mind first?
Summer camp.
Oh.
Like sleepaway camp, cabins with my friends, sleeping out, camping out under the stars, s'mores. S'mores. I haven't had s'mores since I went to camp, but yeah.
I think of when you're like little kids, like anywhere from like elementary to middle school, and like, you know, those summer camps, like the ones that they'll take you out to summer for like a week and you just have so much fun. And, you know, it reminds me of when I did one in the summer of 6th grade. It was super fun, yeah.
When I think of camp, I think of little kids camping or just people camping in general. I think about people with money that can go camping. I think about sleepaway camps of just any age. And then in doing so, I also think about Friday the 13th because that all happened at a camp. And then when I think about camping and just like not going outside, I think about in video game terms when they be like someone camping. Like, ayo, he camping, and they just don't move, and they just be like basically cheating at the game.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's my favorite horror movie.
It's like horror comedy, right? Like over the top, like.
Yeah.
What about you, Mary?
Camp Rock.
That's it.
The first thing I probably think of is just surrounding the campfire, and then the second thing after that closely that reminds me of it is Friday the 13th, for that one scene where he decides to start running for no reason. Jason. That's it.
Do you have a favorite Friday the 13th?
Probably In Space because it's just so corny. It's so just like campy kind of, even if it's not really like in the same setting. It's just really funny.
Agreed. Very camp.
When I hear the word camp, I think of people sitting in corners on Call of Duty. That's what when I hear the word camp, that's exactly what I think of. That's exactly what I think of.
Remember that old Disney show, Camp Rock? That was so good.
Yes. Wait, which one was better, Camp Rock or Camp Rock 2?
Camp Rock, the original, of course.
Well, okay, Camp Rock 2, like, arguably has one of, like, the craziest plot twists, though. Like, you think they're gonna win, and they don't. Like, that's crazy. You gotta give it that.
I will give you that, but nothing beats the original. I can't lie. Like, come on, Disney was cooking back in, like, the early 2010s.
That's valid.
I think of Meow Meow Fart, the best magazine in Philadelphia.
What's Philadelphia?
The place where Meow Meow Fart releases magazines.
We'll be expanding into Camp Backstage Pass.
Maybe, I need to think about it. That costs a lot of money I don't have.
We look forward to that day.
Me too.
Chaperone. Is that wrong? Is that wrong? Okay, wait, I'm gonna give the basic answer. Campfire, warmth, logs, pine trees. Yeah.
So wait, so why did you say Chapel Row?
Is she not very campy? No? Question mark? Question mark? Yes? Yes, no? Maybe I don't know what camp means. When I think camp, it reminds me of like alternative. Like it's like a genre of itself. It's like not being super normal. It's like very I don't know. It's like a verb, okay? Like, it's an adjective, it's a verb, it's campy, it's camp. You know what I'm saying? And she gives very camp. She's like the epitome of the word, in my opinion. I could be lying, I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Thank you.
So you're not going to be a gatekeeper of the lesbians today?
No, ma'am. I'm just queer. I'm just queer.
She's just here and queer.
I'm just queer, okay?
As the local Backstage Ass chaperone enthusiast, I approve of all things chaperone, and I approve that message. Chaperone is the definition of camp, or at least one of them. She is camp. That's all I have to say. I have my stamp of approval.
I immediately think of a campfire, roasting s'mores. I love it.
So wait, do you go camping regularly?
I actually don't. I don't think I've ever been camping.
Wait, you can join our set, like on the studio. We have a campsite and everything.
Oh my goodness, I'm there. I'm there.
Okay, perfect. Those are some excellent answers from our fellow campers. So I have to ask you guys, what do you think of camp? Lucas, you go first.
So I think with camp, it's like getting by the campfire, having nice food. And speaking of which, a camper gave me a chicken sandwich, so I'm going to eat that. So go.
Oh, I'm hungry now. What about you, Pat?
When I think of the term camp, I honestly think of something being, funny or edgy or just, alternative in some type of way, like not what you're usually used to. It's a little different, but different in a good way.
I'd have to agree on that, to be honest. When I think of camp, I think of I guess pop culture, like the cultural camp, like something that's over the top, kind of like kitschy, and like you said, very playful. So many of my favorite movies are considered campy and over the top and silly and stupid, but on purpose. The key word about camp is that it's silly, stupid, over the top, and playful, all on purpose with a specific intent. That's what I love about these movies. Actually, I can name 3 on the spot. Rocky Horror Picture Show, Bottoms, and Drop Dead Gorgeous. Now, there's a bunch of other ones, but I'm gonna spare you guys because we have to get back to our campsite, right?
I know, I almost finished this chicken sandwich. I'm halfway done.
Man, you were hungry.
I am.
I want some s'mores. Let's go back to our campsite, shall we?
We shall.
Those were some very campy responses. Thank you to everyone that camped out with us. Maybe camp is just the friends we made along the way, right? But anyhow, I can't believe it's the end of our show already. I think I finally know what camp means now.
Same here. But unfortunately, the love of camp and Backstage Pass is forever. And luckily, there's a special place you can connect with us and keep up with us. Social media.
Get out your phone and follow us on these various platforms seen on your screen. Give us a follow, leave a comment, and let us know if you have any suggestions. Plus, you can check out exclusive content, including hilarious blooper reels and other ways to get involved. So make sure you're following us. If you don't, my ear infection will get worse, and you'll be sleeping outside too. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Lucas Alvin.
And I'm campy Kayla McCrae.
And don't forget me, I'm Patrick O'Hara. We'll see you next time, right here on Backstage Pass.